Welcome to episode 4 of the Shutdown series. I'm here with an old friend, Luke Chevalier, who is a pitcher in the Rockies system. Luke, you were down at spring training when this happened, and you got the news that the season was kind of on hold. What were you doing when you got that news, and what was that day like?
Dude, it was weird. We had it was like a pen day. We had all of our live outings. We were just starting. Like it was probably like the fourth or fifth day of spring training, I'd say, for the minor league guys. And it was just kind of a weird vibe. It was rainy. It wasn't a great day. Like we were all kind of feeling weird because all the stuff with college had been like kind of surfaced, and everything with like the NBA was coming about, and we were like, it won't happen to us. There's no way. And then yeah, when then we got hit with it, and we were kind of all just like shaken up a little bit, just because we were like, all right, stay here for like a couple of days, stay down in Arizona, see what happens. And then we all got calls one day, and they're like we're shutting her down, MLB shutting it down. And we were like, okay. Honestly, I thought it was gonna last maybe a couple of weeks, but then this is different though. It's got a mind of its own, so it's kind of something that you gotta think about. You gotta be as precautionary as possible. So it
You
was
said it was kind of a weird day already where it was raining, everybody kind of had a strange vibe. Did you expect this to happen, or were you expecting it to kind of leave your field alone?
we honestly felt like what was going to happen was there's a lot of everybody was on basically everybody's on Twitter for like the past like 2 days, just following what's happening when like in sports aspect, not just the pandemic of what's going on in the country with like let alone the world. And we were kind of just like all on Twitter seeing like what like because it was uh it was March Madness, and then it was everything else, and we were just like, dude, this is some stuff that we were not prepared for, especially going into my first and all the other guys' first spring training. We were like, dude, this has to be for the one that we're at. And I mean, I don't know, the day definitely reflected what had happened. Is basically what I'm saying, because it was cloudy, it was gloomy, it was just like you had a weird vibe for sure, like you said.
So you told me before we went live that you guys got a 3-month throwing program. What does that program look like? How are you staying sharp and staying on top of your craft without being able to go to facilities or really be around any of your teammates?
Well, I mean, it just kind of is different for each person, because if you're in like a whatever like environment you're in, you kind of got to just like become that and like just be able to do whatever you need to do just to like kind of get your arm going. Right now, they have us like kind of pumping the brakes just a little bit, just to be safe. And I mean, they don't really know how long this is going to happen. So I mean, it could be a month and a half. It could be, and we could a month and a half of us and then playing in front of like no fans but still playing, or it could be damn near like 4 or 5 months, or it could be just us not playing at all. So it really just depends on how far this goes, and just see what happens. Because I mean, we really at this point we have no idea what's going on. Like you have as good of an idea as Rob Manfred does. Let's be honest.
So you mentioned the possibility of playing in empty stadiums. Have you ever experienced anything like that, or what is that? What runs through your mind when you hear the idea of playing an empty stadium as a pitcher?
Bro, that just reminds me everything of my season, half of my seasons in college. I mean, let's be real, because we were playing in like 40, 45-degree weather. We were always on the road, or like we're playing in neutral sites due to snow. So it's like everybody else coming from these big D1s. Like I have one of my good friends is from LSU and got UCLA. All these guys are like where they have huge fan support bases, and it's just I mean, it'll be no different for me. I mean, I like playing in front of crowds. I mean, Rochester, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of crowds there. So, I
Yeah.
mean, same thing. So, but yeah, I mean, it would be different, but I mean, it wouldn't like totally, I mean, as long as we're playing, I mean, it wouldn't be as bad, but it'd still be kind of weird.
So you spent the season in Boise last year with the
I did,
Skyhawks
yeah.
for
Yeah.
most part. What was your outlook as you went into spring training this year?
Honestly, like Boise was really cool. It was a really good environment. Like the coaching staff there was really awesome. They helped us have like a really smooth transition into where we are right now. And then into spring training, like everybody, like we basically knew the entire like staff for the most part, except for a couple of new guys that we had taken some positions. We have our double A pitching coach was moved to our head pitching coordinator, so that was a kind of a different vibes. We had to get to know him, and he had to get to know us, so that was cool. But I was down there pretty frequently in Arizona over the off season, going from like back home and to Arizona just to like kind of get familiar with the facility. They had a bunch of us come down there. They had us come down there in November just to do like meetings and stuff like that. And then in January, right before spring training, like probably for like a month and a half, we were down there just to kind of get familiar with the facilities and running around, just being kind of in like our own little mini spring training. So that was really cool experience. Prepared us for the 4 days we had of actual spring training. So, but
So what was a normal day with a double A team like, and what does your normal day look like now that you're obviously not playing every single day?
I mean, basically what we were doing in spring training or like the pre-spring training, we would be waking up at like 6-ish, and then getting to the field at like 6:30. We'd have breakfast, we'd go through lift, you get all your stuff done with whatever you need to do in the weight or the training room, get yourself right, and then throw. And then we would go and do a bunch of just drills and stuff, getting like if you weren't throwing pens or something like that. And I mean, it was kind of the same thing every single day, but just kind of rotated on like a 3-day cycle. And now, dude, I'm just locked in the house. I mean, pretty much quarantined here, have a net in the garage that I'm throwing into if it's not nice out. And thank God I have 2 brothers I can throw with who are at a pretty high level for baseball right now. But I mean, dude, I don't have access to a weight room, so that kind of sucks. But I mean, just kind of grinding out. Our shout out to our strength coach. He's gotten a bunch of our us some home workouts that we can be doing if we don't have access to gyms. So that's pretty huge. But I mean, it's wildly different. Wildly different.
What do those workouts look like for, obviously a lot of us are quarantined at home, and people who, even if they're not pro athletes, they're sitting at home going, man, I'm going crazy. I need to do something to at
Yeah,
least stay active. Is there stuff in there that just your average Joe like me could do?
I mean, honestly, yeah, like what we're doing, I mean, I have at home is I have a couple of dumbbells, and I'm just doing some just any kind of lunges, goblet squats, just stuff that you can do, or like even if you don't have dumbbells, just body squats, stuff that you can either take. I've been doing lunges or split squats with a dumbbell right here, and I'll put my leg up on my couch, and I'll be doing reps through that. So it's a different experience, but I mean, it's stuff. I mean, upper body stuff. I pulled out the old iron gym from back in high school, nice little thing you put up on the doorway, and I'm getting out some pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff. You gotta do what you gotta do. So grinding.
So what are you doing? What are you doing besides the baseball stuff to stay busy during quarantine? What shows you been watching?
Man, I've been ripping through All American a lot. I mean, The Office. I mean, you can't go wrong with The Office. My little brother's been. We were all kind of like on different TV shows. It's kind of funny because he's watching like How I Met Your Mother, and then I'm watching All American. He's just ripping through it, and I'm just like, dude, switch. I would just go watch different ones. Dude, I'm about to go crazy though. Like it's wild. Like I can't like. I'm not one who can. It's been kind of nice here, so it's kind of. It was 65 yesterday, and then it was like rainy and 25 today in Sioux Falls. So it's tough. I mean, I'm trying to go on like runs and stuff and do outside workouts. Like I don't know, I'm teaching my little sister how to play baseball. Like I'm trying to do anything, bro. Cause you know me, I'm a person who likes to be constantly doing stuff. And I mean, I love watching binge and stuff, but that only goes so far. And I mean, cooking dinner for the whole fam just because I need something to do. But I'm just, dude, I'm bored out of my mind. I just need I need some help or I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I think everyone's starting to get to that point. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here, and I don't want this to seem like something that I'm trying to speak into existence because it's the opposite of that. But worst case scenario, they tell you that there's no season, that you're basically off and away from facilities until next year's spring training schedule. What are you doing? What are you gonna do in the meantime?
Dude, I mean, it's honestly been kind of like a thing that's been going through my head. Like it's kind of been that little voice in the back of my head, like, hey, what if this happens? And that's exactly what it is. I mean, I'd probably like go and try to like get back the job I was working in insurance during the off season a little bit. And I mean, I might try to go back doing that while doing baseball stuff, but because I mean, you kind of gotta make money at this point. Because I mean, nobody's like we're not like the minor league or Major League Baseball is paying us a little bit, but I mean, for the most part, like if you're trying to get along in this economy, I'm trying to like um, be more independent at this point. Because I mean, obviously, minor league jobs are kind of lower end, but I mean, you just kind of gotta work your ass off and get to the point where you're either working a job or you're completely devoted and doing like baseball like lessons or stuff like that. Because I mean, obviously you gotta think about like keeping yourself safe in this point, because like you can't just go out and just be working. I mean, unless you're taking every single like precaution. But I mean, honestly, dude, it's stuff I've been going through over my head. Like I don't know exactly what would happen. Like if I go back and try to be in somewhere where it would be a little warmer, try to work on some stuff. I've been thinking about going to Cressy baseball, and I think they've shut down. So I mean, it's not like that's an option at this point. So I don't know, man. It would be kind of a bummer, but I mean, you kind of got to prepare yourself for that. So it'll be interesting to go through.
All right, let's bring it back a little bit lighter. What's your best memory from last season, and what were you most looking forward to for this upcoming season?
Last year, I mean, I gotta go to my debut. I mean, professional debut. Everybody like kind of thinks about it, dude. I was so nervous. Like we were going through um our little like warm up thing. I wasn't starting, but I was like basically scheduled. We had a guy from high A come down who was hurt, and he started 2 innings. And then my role was I was gonna start in the third, and I was gonna go as long as I could. And I had unreal butterflies. Like I was losing my mind. I was like, this is not precedent for me, because I usually get nervous, but not like that nervous. And I was starting to lose a little bit. But once I got out there and it was at home, so it was really cool because my host family was there, who I'd gotten a pretty solid relationship with at that point. They were there supporting me, and it was pretty awesome. I didn't give up any hits. I had like a couple of strikeouts and went 3 innings, so that was pretty awesome. Cause like just walking off the field, be like knowing that, hey, like I'm here for a reason. This is what I'm gonna do, and it was just awesome, man.
Oh, I just got goosebumps, man.
It was super cool. Yeah, I do. I'm getting them right now. I'm thinking about it. It's wild.
Oh, that's incredible, man. We'll wrap it up a little bit. I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know it's
No problem, dude.
really, really useful for people to kind of see inside. Everybody can have an opinion and be like, oh, this is what's going on in sports. But until you have a chance to talk to somebody and hear from someone who's living it every day and dealing with this, it's awesome to hear, man. It's awesome to see you. It's been way too long.
Yeah, for real.